Good morning. My name is Owen. I'm a Peace Corps volunteer in Santa Barbara, Honduras, and I'm gonna take you around my coffee cooperative. It's where I go every day to work, and just a real quick run through. So here we go. This is the gate that I walk through. It's about 8:30, so it's relatively early in the day. We're starting up, and it's always all kinds of commotion here at the cooperative. So that's the name of the cooperative up there. I designed that little banner there. So what we do is we process coffee from the fruit stage, which is that red thing. It comes in a cherry. Coffee beans usually start in a cherry form like that. The farmers up in the mountain strip it off the plant, and then they bring it to us at about 20 to 50% humidity, and then we have 3 ways to dry it once it's out of the fruit stage. These giant patios here are one way to dry it, just straight with the sun. So these are coffee beans out of their fruit stage. It's called pergamino, and pergamino means like parchment, because each of these guys has like a parchment over it. As you can see, the little shell is called a parchment. So these guys have just been raked out into their nice little lines, and they'll dry for a day and a half. If the rain comes, they'll be raked into the corner here and covered with this plastic to protect them from the rain. But these guys are just about done drying. You may not be able to tell from this camera, but right here, this segment of parchment or pergamino coffee is much lighter than that pile back there, and that's because it's been drying for probably about 10 hours longer. So these 3 patios are one way, 4th patio, and back here you have a couple tents, and these are called secadores solares, which is basically just drying with the sun's heat again, but protected from the rain, which is really handy when rain does come. We're lucky we haven't had too much rain recently. Gracias a Dios, right? So sometimes you have kind of poorer quality coffee. As you can see here, you have a lot of dark kernels, and those are called huacuco. And that's when something wrong happened with a couple of the cherries, and they fell off and dried onto the bean. So this little batch here will be sold at a cheaper price in town. Probably won't be exported. So buenos dias. She's like kind of the main woman here, cleaning up everything and preparing for a meeting that we have today, it looks like. Back there is where we have taste testing, and we do roasting and grinding on a small scale just for the people of this small town. So anyways, there's 2 ways to dry coffee back there, the patios and the tents, and then the main way are these 2 giant ovens, basically. So once again, the farmers come in with their coffee pretty wet. They've just cut off all the pulp from the cherry, and then we have those 2 ways in the sun to dry it further, and then we have these 2 huge things. We're underneath the silos right now. So this huge silo has that's where we dump the wet coffee, and then it comes, gosh, you can barely see anything. It shoots down this silo into the bottom of here, which gets picked up. Ooh, you can't really see it very well. Picked up by these little elevators. And the elevators bring it up. And you can't even see it, but that's the top of these giant ovens, these furnaces, which dry it that way. And they'll go through the elevator process 4 or 5 times over the course of a couple hours, and then get dropped into this giant tank right there in the middle. That's where it'll all get dropped, and then this little mechanism down here, you just kind of yank it open and put a bag underneath it, and all the coffee drops out of it. So the sacks of coffee, wet coffee, that the farmers bring us weigh about 125 pounds. And when we're done with them, drying them, they lose a lot of wet weight, and they weigh about 100 pounds, or a little bit more. We don't have the further processes, which is where they take off the shell. The pergamino becomes oro. We have to export it to somebody else, or outsource that, I guess, who can shell it and then export it. That's the way that coffee is exported all over the world, is in oro, or green state. So once again, that's the cooperative that I work at. We usually walk through these gates here. My office is here on the left. A little air conditioning when it's hot, but right now it's actually quite cold. And then my counterparts and everybody else works on the offices here. And we're not going to say hi to them because you won't understand them. So more coffee inside, just getting ready to get bagged up. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Once again, my name's Owen, and thanks for watching.